Tonight, police say a legal firearm belonging to Joachim Henry brought in after the SDA Church disturbance may or may not be related to an ongoing investigation. A homecoming motorcade for Jeremiah Norbert has been deemed illegal by law enforcement. The St. Lucia Labour Party says it has done nothing wrong. An Afro man is the island's latest homicide victim and 2 arrested in connection with an alleged sexual offense involving a minor. The details of these stories and more coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelace and Amy Joseph.
Good night. It is Tuesday, the 27th of April, 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. A special hello to our viewers on our free-to-air digital antenna. I am Lovelace St. Amy Joseph. Thank you all for joining us. While the SLP has refuted claims that grieving father and the SLP Castries Southeast candidate Joachim Henry was in possession of a firearm when he interrupted a Seventh-day Adventist church service to confront Guy Joseph, his firearm is in fact in the possession of police. Police Commissioner Milton Daisy made the disclosure during a press conference on Tuesday and also clarified that the firearm was brought in out of concern by Claudius Francis.
Police is in possession of a firearm, but I must indicate now a firearm was not a subject matter of the event that took place. But a firearm was brought in to the police, and in the interest of safety, we are keeping that firearm for safekeeping. The firearm was received from Mr. Claudius Francis, okay, who is also a licensed firearm holder.
But not for that particular.
Yeah, he's not for that firearm, but we have to look at what happens in an instance. For example, if one finds a firearm, what do you do in that? Do you leave it there to be in the hands of an irresponsible individual? The firearm was taken to the police, and the police is securing the firearm now.
Commissioner Daisy says to his knowledge the firearm was brought in after the incident at the SDA Church. He was questioned as to whether there was any intent to use the firearm. He says at this point all the circumstances surrounding this matter are not clear.
I am not saying he was angry. I am saying that based on the situation that persons may have assessed or agreed upon, that firearm was taken to the police. And
So that firearm is not linked to the incident at all?
It may have not been linked to the incident, but linked to the incident.
The police commissioner clarified that the disturbance by Joachim Henry and his wife is an offense under the law.
It's a criminal offense to disturb, whether it is you on the outside or on the inside, if you are participating. And the allegations are that the service was disturbed. And once the service is disturbed, and in fact the law clearly states at any point, whether it's when persons were at rest, whether it was when persons were singing, whether there was a preaching, once you come in and cause anything to disturb the worshiping session, that it is a criminal offense.
Commissioner Daisy says police responded to the incident at the SDA Church on Saturday and an investigation is ongoing. Following a clash between attendees at a funeral service and police, the island's police commissioner and superintendent in charge of crime are warning that confrontations by civilians targeted at police is a losing battle for members of the public and they can face very serious consequences. On Tuesday, a video of a clash between police and members of the public who were attending a funeral went viral. Many have commented that the level of aggression being displayed by police in the video is unwarranted. Others lament what they view as a lack of respect for police by civilians. This is the second recent incident caught on camera where the public has questioned the use of force by police officers. Superintendent of Police in charge of crime, George Nicholas, cautions members of the public that their intervention in police matters only makes the situation more volatile.
I want to say to members of the public that we, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, have a responsibility to to enforce the laws of this country. And once we find that the laws have been broken, we will take action. Now, we have exercised lots of restraints, and we have been very tolerant of the situation. And it's a warning to members of the public that when the police is out there carrying out our functions, if you are not involved, please do not get involved. Because what you find, persons who would otherwise be law-abiding citizens, they jump on the bandwagon just to that, to increase the resistance to the police. I'm asking these persons to stay away, because these very videos that are going viral will be used against you. Once we can identify persons in those videos, and once we can ascertain that they have committed an infringement of the law, they are going to be taken into custody.
In the video, the police officer is seen drawing his firearm. Nicholas indicated that he has not been fully briefed on the altercation, but spoke on the laws surrounding an officer drawing a weapon.
Drawing a firearm can be considered as a level of force by itself, but using it is something different. Now, when an officer has used his or her firearm during an incident, it would mean that that officer at the time believes that his life or the life of somebody was in jeopardy.
Police Commissioner Milton Daisy also had a strong reaction to the incidents of civilians intervening in police matters.
If you are told that you are arrested, you are arrested, and you need to be taken down to be dealt with. So in the process of taking this person down, you would find persons struggling, resisting that arrest, which is also an offense, assaulting the officer in the process. We need to take action. We are seeing too many instances of persons just disregarding law and order. And it's not about the officer and these individuals. It is about law and order. We believe that if you are to see a decline in crime in St. Lucia, persons need to change their attitude and behavior.
Commissioner Daisy says candidly that civilians are headed down the wrong road and police will clamp down on such behavior.
Now, you also have the instances where passers-by, persons around, would incite this individual being pursued by the police to resist. Okay, and then we have seen it in the videos. Defend yourself. Don't allow him to arrest you. We are seeing that. And I'm saying that persons need to change their attitude and behavior if we have to see the Helen of the West again. If not, we are getting out of hand. And the police would have a strong hand on that. And it's not a threat. I'm saying that we cannot allow it to happen, and the police will intervene.
The top cops indicate that there is redress for civilians who feel that officers have acted beyond the scope of the law. They assure that the Police Complaints Department is functional and that police officers do face consequences if found in contravention of the law. A motorcade which took place this past weekend to welcome home SLP candidate Jeremiah Norbert has been deemed illegal. On Tuesday, Police Commissioner Milton Daisy revealed that the incident is being investigated and people will be taken in for questioning.
As you are aware, we are in a state of emergency. There are protocols where mass crowd gatherings are not permitted, except if we are a maximum of 10 persons, which is limited to close family members. So the motorcade, which would be classified as a public match under the Public Order Act, was unlawful. Actually, police, I must indicate that police, when we got the information, certain persons were contacted, tell them that it is an offense, and it was continued.
That was Police Commissioner Milton Daisy. Meanwhile, the SLP's communications officer, Mondi Lewis, is denying any involvement on the part of senior officials of the party in what police say was an unlawful motorcade. Lewis says the event was essentially a drive home for Jeremiah Norbert. She further states that party officials met Jeremiah Norbert at his house, where police did move in to speak with the party about crowd limits.
If the police was made aware of it, and I do think if they believe that the law was being broken, that they have a duty to uphold the law. So I don't know what their communication was with anyone who was a part of this this drive, literally to Jeremiah's house.
But you're saying the SLP, members of the party, were not a part of the drive?
The leadership, no, we were not a part. There was no coordination on our part in terms of being involved in a drive. Like I said, senior members of the leadership met Jeremiah at his home. When we met with our candidate at his house, the police arrived and they did speak to members of the party who were present, like I said, to welcome Jeremiah to his home. The police did speak to the leadership, and they did comply, and the police can tell you that we made every effort to ensure that persons go home, that they were wearing their mask, but also to know that people were in the community, these were neighbors, these were persons in the surrounding area who knew, who heard that Jeremiah was coming home, and I think we all can agree that, what Jeremiah has gone through has been traumatic, but the strength and the inspiration that he has been to St. Lucian's, I think persons wanted to welcome him home, and there was every effort on the police part and that of the leadership to ensure that the safety and security of citizens remained the priority. So we did comply with the police when they asked persons to go home. We made sure to tell them to go home.
There has been some criticism leveled at the St. Lucia Labour Party for alleged inciting of the public to disregard and push back against law enforcement when it comes to enforcing COVID-19 protocols. Lewis rubbishes such claims.
You can see from all our actions that is not the MO of a St. Lucia Labour Party. When we held our protest march last year, we applied for all permissions and they were granted, and we held every action within the confines of the law, and you would have heard reports from the police that there were no disruptions in any of the activities that that took place. Also, the party has called on St. Lucians to adhere to the protocols, despite the many viral videos, and we do think sometimes that things could be solved in a more amicable way. But St. Lucians have to obey the law, and that has been our stance. There has been no breach on our part as a party when it comes to the laws of St. Lucia.
Lewis says the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party will continue to comply with the law and urge its supporters to do the same. You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Still to come, members of the public react to the latest police and civilian clash. Aaron Alexander decries what he says is police abuse of power in an incident involving a Rastafarian. And Dr. Sharon Belmont George on St. Lucia's current COVID-19 status.